fellow travelholics. It's me, Sade Pimentel, your favorite travel advisor. I just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce today's video as I really had a great time interviewing Miss Gina Johnson. Gina serves as the Weddings and Honeymoons Business Development Manager for the North American market with Playa Resorts. Playa is the parent company of both Hyatt and Hilton properties within the Caribbean. Today, we went over so many great opportunities for both groups and traditional groups. We also spoke about some of the changes that are coming along within the properties due to COVID-19. And I'm just excited to share both the information and my experience with today's interview. So sit back and please enjoy the video. All right. Hi, Gina. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk about Playa, weddings, and all that's included in that. Before we get started, I kind of want my guests and my clients to know a little bit more about you and how you got started with Playa.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. My name is Gina Johnson with Playa Hotels and Resorts. I'm the wedding and romance sales manager for North America. I've been in the travel industry for over 30 years and have been in weddings for the last 15. So I've been with Playa Resorts for the last 5, so a third of my time doing weddings. And I love it. I mean, it's like my dream job, right? Dealing with wedding couples and love and romance and making dreams come true. That's really what it's all about. And I always joke, I've got 4 daughters. I figured I'd better get some practice in as my daughters begin to get married. So I absolutely love it.
Hopefully you're gaining some like reward points or something to help with these destination wedding costs. Just saying it's an idea, just throw it out there.
I hope so. We had out of my 4 daughters, I've had one get married so far. So we had her wedding at the Hyatt Ziva in Los Cabos, absolutely beautiful. And it does pay off because I do have relationships with our vendors and the hotels and that. So, it's a destination wedding is the best way to go. It's fantastic.
So you saying that destination weddings are the best way to go. Tell me, how did you know that you fell in love with the concept of a destination wedding? Like, what was that like for you when you're like, aha, it's the light bulb is on. What happened for you when that turned on?
I think when it happened is that when you go through planning a domestic wedding, so a local wedding, you're having to find the venue, and you're going to have to contact the people for the cake or for the decor or your DJ. Everybody's separate unless you obviously hire a wedding planner, but then you have to pay them as well. So with all those different components, it's a lot of work, and this all while you're trying to have the most wonderful day of your life. Who wants to be bogged down by all those details? Plus, a lot of us work full-time jobs. We're trying to plan around it. So with a destination wedding, it's your one contact, well, 2 contacts because they're working through their travel agent, but their travel agent puts them in touch with the wedding coordinator on property, and that wedding coordinator does all the work. With the venues already included, so that you don't have to pay for that. And some venues are like $5,000-$10,000 just for the venue itself. And then we work with all of the best vendors in all the destinations. So we have the most current decor, the DJs, the photographers. It's all packaged together. So it's really easy. It's a smooth process. And all you have to do is show up in this beautiful destination and say, I do.
Okay. So me just being a new bride or bride to be, and I'm getting ready to have my wedding at Playa, and my bridesmaids are coming, the groom and the groomsmen are coming. What is maybe your favorite tip in terms of traveling as either a group or as a bride and groom and getting, say, like my wedding dress to the destination? What kind of tips could you give me on that?
That's an easy one because out of the whole process, that's the easy part. I mean, obviously, you're going to want to take your dress in a garment bag, and usually when you're boarding the flights, the flight attendants are super excited that you're going down for their destination wedding. They know that you're there on board, and they usually will hang it up for you. And then once you get on property, we can arrange for your dress to be steamed. If the groom has a suit, we can have that pressed. So always carry it separately from your other clothes and everything else. But travel very gently with it because those dresses are beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the wedding packages in terms of, like, let's say if I just want to elope, me and the groom versus me having a smaller intimate style wedding for 20 guests, or if I wanted to do a larger party, what are those packages looking like? And do they transfer, say, from the Jamaica destinations to DR and Mexico, or do they vary?
We have kept it consistent across all of our brands because obviously we have Hyatts, we have Hiltons, we have Panama Jacks, we have Sanctuary. So we have a lot of different brands, but we wanted to keep it consistent. So we have three what we call core packages for our most popular types of weddings. So we have just for the two of you, that's for the elopement, or for a vow renewal, it's just for the couple, it's just the basic ceremony with cake and with the champagne toast afterwards. And then our most popular package is our lavish and opulent, which includes everything. It includes a ceremony. It includes a 1 hour private cocktail, a 3 hour private reception. That really is our most popular because it's a total package, includes all the basics. And I don't want to say it includes everything because we've really pared it down to the essentials of what they need. So like the cocktail includes the past hors d'oeuvres, it includes their own private bar setup, their own wait staff, their um, cocktail tables, and basic white linens. The reason we did that is that we know that not every couple wants the exact same thing. So we didn't want to do pre-packaged because every couple is unique, what they find interesting, the colors they want, everything like that. So they can add those little touches in to make it their own unique reception, their own unique wedding. All of those events can be done separately. But if you have larger groups, let's say you have 100 plus, then we can absolutely work with you on those to really create something that's great for that large of a group.
Okay. Now, I remember when we first met and we talked about the different wedding packages. It was kind of one of those moments for me, like, wow, like they're really thinking of everything. They're really giving me access. They're giving my clients access to kind of customize. And one of those things that you guys have, or one of the tools that you guys have to customize, is that online tool where they can go and pick out like the
Yeah.
colors, or maybe they want to have like the light up tables and dance floor and things like that. And they can kind of put it in their cart and then also share that list, let's say like with the mother or the father, the bride or groom that's helping with the expenses. Can you touch on that a little bit more? Because that was mind blowing for me.
Yeah, I love this tool. And again, referring back to when my daughter was planning her wedding, I experienced it firsthand from a consumer standpoint. And I don't think anybody else really has anything like this out
No,
there. So it's a great tool. What we have is we have an online wedding dashboard. So it creates complete transparency in the planning process. Yeah, because sometimes when you're planning from afar, it's a little bit more challenging. So if you're able to log in and see everything that you've selected with photos, descriptions, pricing, that's all in there and you can see that. And the couples we have all of our wedding options. So photo packages, DJ, dance floor, decor, all of that is listed in there so that all they have to do is go into the options, select it, and it drops into their wedding. And let's say that they decided on something, they built their entire wedding, and then like 2 months later, they change their minds. We're allowed to do that, right? We're allowed to change
yeah.
our minds. So as long as they have not paid for it, they just delete it out of the wedding, and then they just keep shopping. I mean, it really is combining technology with the wedding planning process to make it super easy for couples to do all of that.
To personalize.
And like you said, mom and dad, maybe mom and dad are paying for the wedding package, so the couple can share their whole, we call it, I don't like to say cart, but it's a cart, like a shopping cart.
Correct.
They share the cart with mom and mom and dad can't make any changes, or they can't, you know, see everything that's
Delete it.
going on with the planning, but they can go in and they can pay online, securely online, for the wedding package. Or let's say the bridesmaids want to pay for their bouquets as a wedding gift. They can go in and they can each pay for their own bouquets. So it's a really great tool and very user friendly.
Yeah, it is. So last year when I went on your wedding fam, I got to experience some of this customization firsthand. And my favorite moment was when we were at the New Ziva Zalara Cap Cana. Of course, the water park was like, wow, there's a water park here. But after we did our portion of learning about the property and seeing the different room categories that day, we had dinner. And it just said a little line item on the itinerary, like, oh, join us for dinner on the beach. And I'm just like, oh, okay, we're just gonna have, like a regular dinner. Maybe there'll be some string up lights or something. So when I prepared myself, I was like, oh, let me just wear some flats because we're going to be on this beach and I'm going to be falling all over the place. But during my tour, I realized, or I got informed, that you guys actually took the time to pat that beach sand down so that if I wanted to wear, say, wedges or heels, I wasn't wobbling all over the place. So I thought that was really good from a wedding or reception standpoint. But when I finally got to this beach dinner, when I say the surprise on my face, I was like, wait, where am I? Did I pay for this? Like, how did this is going to cost me extra? Like, it was really laid out. And me, I have a shellfish allergy. But if I didn't, there wasn't another time for me to indulge, that would have been it. I mean, you guys had a full-on barbecue pit on the beach. I got to experience the multi-lighting dance floor with the chairs. You had these tables like laid out in rows, and I could tell someone took the time to come up with a theme for this.
Yeah.
They picked out the colors and the napkins and the plates. They picked out our menu and said, hey, do we want to give you, table service or the option to kind of go around a buffet style? And I got to kind of experience both of that while on the beach because we had a table service for our actual main meal, but then there was like the dessert bar and it was like laid out with these mini wedding cakes and all of that. And I thought that was like, okay, like this could be my thing. Like it's very personal. And I was calling my husband the next day, like, I know we just got married last year, but
let's renew. Let's renew.
Think about a renewal service. So he was like, we just paid all this money, so let's just wait. But it was exciting to see it come to life and to feel really the love and the time that kind of went in to planning it. Like all the staff that was there, you could tell like they were on their A game. Like they wanted to give us that good impression and a good time. And I really appreciated that. So I was like, if I'm enjoying it, I know that the couples and the families would enjoy it.
And they were trying to show you what they can do. I mean, we think of destination weddings and we kind of think of these smaller, more, well, not even smaller, but simpler wedding events because it's in destination. But we wanted to show you that we can do these magnificent, beautiful setups and do different things. So like they had we can do the grill out on the beach for these weddings. It's a different package, but we can absolutely do that. And they had all types of seafood, and the dessert tables are one of my favorite things. You think traditionally, okay, I want to do a plated meal. I want to do the dessert, I want to do everything, but you can choose or add in different things to
Elements.
customize it. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to customize everything, but little things. So maybe add the dessert table because that's a lot of fun. Maybe do buffet out on the beach because that gives a little bit more option to when people want to go get their food or whatever. So think outside the box when you're doing a destination wedding, and don't limit yourself. I mean, we really can do anything in destination that you could do domestically.
Basically. Yeah. Okay, so that brings me to my next favorite part about the destination weddings aspects with Playa. You guys have something called the Big Day Preview, which is essentially a test drive of your wedding and getting to meet the planners on site, getting to see the color options and things like that. Tell me more, or tell my clients, what is this Big Day Preview and
Listen,
how do we get it?
I think that every couple out there should do a big day preview. And it's super easy to do. You just let your agent know that you want to go, and they'll work with the hotel to confirm your dates for you. Big day previews are held Monday through Thursday, and the reason we do that is because on the weekends we generally have a lot of our events. So Monday through Thursday is a little bit slower time, so we have the time to focus on the couple. And what it is they come down for 2 nights, and the price varies by hotel. So it's either $400 for the Panama Jacks and the Jewel Paradise Cove,
Mhm.
and then the Hiltons and Hyatts are $500 for 2 nights, and the Sanctuary Cap Can is $600. So if you come down and you come and do your big day preview and you end up having your wedding with us, we will give you whatever you spent on that big day preview back as a credit towards your wedding. So in essence, you're getting it for free. But the reason I love it, again, it goes back to planning from a distance, right? You can't go and meet with the decor person. You can't go meet with the baker. But you can if you do a big day preview. So you come down and you're going to meet with your on-site coordinator. So you're going to have that face-to-face relationship. We can also set up optional meetings with all of our vendors. So decor, DJ, photographer, whoever you want to meet with, we can set up those appointments. And that way you have, again, that relationship with that person. We also do optional food tastings and hair and makeup trials if they want. Those do have a small fee to them, but we can absolutely do that. But I just think the planning process goes so much smoother if the couple does a big day preview. And they can be done before or after you've contracted your wedding. So you don't, I know some other companies, you can't do it if you've contracted your wedding. We don't believe in that. Let's just, if you want to secure your date, then you want to go do your big day preview, absolutely do it. So plus it's an opportunity for you to have a nice little fun getaway as a
Yeah,
romantic
quickly.
couple.
Any excuse to travel.
Right, right.
Any excuse to travel.
Yeah.
Um, so the big day preview, if let's say at first I wanted to have this huge wedding and I was going to invite the kids, I was going to do the adults. We were going all out for this wedding, but now we have, COVID-19 and it's putting a little damper on things. When I come for the big day preview, what are some of the things that I can experience or see if I wanted to go, say, adult only at Sanctuary? Because I know you guys provide like a private island option for your wedding ceremony, or the villas that they have there. That would allow me as a bride or a couple to kind of hone down my list, still have my guests come and say, hey, it's just kind of going to be our smaller group, so don't be as worried with the masses at a resort. What can we see when we're looking at, say, the private island version or the villa option?
So can you clarify that question? Are you just talking about specific about Sanctuary and what options we would have for the couple?
Yes, like if they wanted to tone down their guest list and do the
Got it.
private island.
Got it.
And then can you tell me a little bit more about the villas that you
Yeah,
guys
and we're seeing that regardless of COVID 19, we're seeing smaller groups for destination weddings, and a lot of that is because these couples want just their immediate family, their closest friends with them. So, and really, when you're trying to decide on a destination or a property or whatever it may be, you want to do what is your dream, right? You know, because people will say all sorts of things, but in the end, this is the memory you're going to have for the rest of your life. So if you've always dreamed of getting married on a beautiful beach or on a private island like at Sanctuary Cap Cana, then do that, because that's you're going to regret not doing what you wanted to always do. So you know, then there are some really unique venues at all of our properties, whether it be like you've mentioned several times because it's one of my favorites, is um, the island suite at Sanctuary Cap Cana. It's a 2-bedroom suite, and you have your own private island that has bolly beds on it, but we also use it for weddings. And we can basically, you walk out of your room, there's a deck and then a little walkway over to this little private island where we can have up to 120 guests. But even if you wanted to just have 15 of your closest friends and you, and then you go into the 2-bedroom suite and you've got a big living area, big dining area, you could have your cocktail, your reception in there, and just really have it as a private party all within this, in your room. Not to mention that you have like 2 indoor plunge pools, 2 outdoor plunge pools. I mean, this is really like a great venue.
Yeah. Okay. Um, one of the questions that I'm getting right now, especially from couples who thought that maybe like, hey, we're going to score this last minute wedding for 2020, but now we may have to relook at, pushing things to 2021. What do you guys, or what can you add to what Playa is doing in terms of resort changes for like, say,
Well, as far as from a health standpoint, I think, you know, our new normal is going to change across the board, not only for our properties but for everything that we do, right? But as far as what we're putting in place, you know, obviously we're part of Hyatt, we're part of Hilton, so they have really implemented some really strict protocols, meaning you're going to have less tables in our restaurants. You're going to have hand sanitizer everywhere. You're going to have some, you know, in our shows at night, there's going to be social distancing. But I think we're all doing that anyway, so I don't think it's going to really affect how you are acting on property. But
Mhm.
yeah, we're going to be putting those health protocols, and we already have those in place because we have to have the highest health standards for
Yes.
cleanliness, for everything else. But we're just going to amp that up. So I think it's just really going to affect like how many people can go into the restaurant at any given time. But beauty of that is that we have at all of our properties a lot of different a la carte restaurants. So you've never really seen it where they're packed anyways. So
Mm-mm.
it's going to be nice. You know, we will have some changes in our buffet. I'm unsure on what that will be because that's going to be a little bit different. But yeah,
It's
we're just gonna roll with it.
okay. So we talked about, the options for weddings. We talked about the options for keeping it small in a private island or villa options. What can you tell me out of all the destination weddings you've worked with, out of all the honeymoons you worked with, what has been your favorite look? You can't use your daughter's wedding as an example,
Yeah.
but what has been your favorite Playa Resort property for weddings versus honeymoon?
Well, let me start with honeymoons because that's an easy, and I'm like a mother with all these properties, right? I don't have a favorite. I love them all for different reasons because they,
Sure.
and no, I'm serious. I think a lot of it has to do with the client's personal preference because a lot of it has to do with destination. What is the vibe they're going for? And then within the hotels, honeymoons, obviously my favorite would be any of our adult only because it's easier to be romantic when there aren't a bunch of kids running around, right?
Yeah.
Obviously Sanctuary Cap Cana is magnificent. Our Hyatt Zalaras, which are adult only, absolutely stunning properties in Jamaica, in Cap Cana, and in Cancun. And then also the Hilton in Playa del Carmen was just renovated last year. We just had reopened it and we're getting back going when the COVID hit. But I went down there earlier this year. I've always loved the location of that property, but with the remodel on it, I absolutely love it. And again, talking about destinations, in Playa del Carmen, you're right off of Fifth Avenue in Playa del Carmen, which they have great shops and restaurants and nightclubs and little jazz clubs and little Cuban dancing places. So you're within one block of all of that, as compared to, let's say, in Cap Cana, where you're going to go on property and there's not a lot, at least nightlife and that to do right around there. You're not going to be able to walk really except on the beach. There are things to do. I'm not saying that there's a lot of wonderful tours, but if that's the difference, right? The properties are both beautiful, but do you want something active and so you can get out, or are you looking for something where you can just relax on a Bali bed all day, right? So that's really what it boils down to.
Now, I want to add something really quickly to the Hilton Playa del Carmen, because I actually had an opportunity to go there before the renovation and I loved it. But in terms of being able to walk around to the nightlife, I just kind of want to add real quick. My favorite place that I found in walking distance was literally a tequila tasting room diagonally across the street from the resort. And when I say I went there and I was like, what's a tequila tasting room? Like, why do I keep seeing these signs all over the place? And I went there first. I was like, can you, give me some context to this? You can literally go and they will walk you through the history of tequila. By the time you leave, all you're going to do is probably walk right back to the hotel because you're going to go through so many types of tequila. And my favorite was the coffee and chocolate mix.
Yes.
A bottle for the husband. And he was just like, he was like, next time you go to Mexico, make sure you bring some of this back. It was really good. And I like the proximity of that. I like being able to walk downtown and partake in like Coco Bongo and the nightlife and things there. So it is one of my favorite locations too.
I do love it. Absolutely love it. And that's what you do, is that when you're working with your couples, you're asking those questions as to what's important to them, and knowing all the properties can help guide them into the correct property. So going back to you saying is, do I have a favorite? Well, they're all fabulous, but for different reasons. And we talked about the adult only, but if you've got a multi-gen wedding, so you've got grandmas and little kids and everything, any of our family friendly properties, old and young alike, are going to have a blast, because we've got all different types of activities. We've got kids clubs, we've got water parks at most of the properties, and we all know that for the little ones, they like to be busy and they like to have something fun going on. So those water parks, literally, they could spend all day there, and we know that they would.
Well, my twins were very jealous of me when I showed them the video of the water park at the Ziva Zalara Cap Cana. They were like, Mommy, when can we go? How did you get into the lazy river? There's tubes, there's slides. I'm like, yes, you'll go. We'll get you there. So there was definitely a sense of jealousy there amongst my 8-year-olds.
Oh, yeah.
But it was great. So the next part I want to talk about is how destination weddings are great, but really a destination wedding is a group with the added bonus of that ceremony piece. So let's say I want to sponsor my own group to go, or maybe I've got like a class reunion or a family reunion, will they still get to work with, say, like an on-site coordinator if they want to do something like that barbecue on the beach, or take advantage of some of the other amenities to do something just for their group?
Yeah, absolutely. We have group coordinators at every single one of our properties, and we have a menu of items that they can choose from if they wanted to do a barbecue on the beach, if they wanted to do, a private dinner one night, whatever it is. You obviously would be managing the group for them, and I think that that's really important, um, that they have a travel agent helping coordinate all their travel plans, because I'll tell you what, trying to do it by yourself, as a couple or as a group leader or whatever it may be, you think, I can do this, but believe me, it's better to have a professional like study handling your travel plans. You'll thank yourself in the end. So yeah, so we can do anything that they want, whether it be a wedding or whether it be a group event. It's basically, um, we can do whatever they want, whatever the group wants.
Okay. Well, I think for now, that's all of my questions, but I really want to take the time to say thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day, because I know you're busy rescheduling weddings and all these great tasks for all the other people that are coming. So thank you so much for participating in my interview.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to continuing to share the the joy that Playa brings and the options. But thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you back down at one of the properties soon.
Look, just say the word. I'm coming. Just say the word. You don't have to convince me. Just say, hey, Sunday, you
I'll
want
let
to
you know.
I'll be right there.
Right?
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.